This is an unfamiliar territory for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 3-0 in the series in the Battle of Ontario. The Toronto Maple Leafs take a commanding 3-0 stranglehold on the Ottawa Senators as the Leafs win yet another thriller. 3-2 in overtime over the Ottawa Senators in Game 3, Round 1 of the Battle of Ontario. And oh my God. That game was kind of fun, but what an end. What another great ending for the Leafs. A very, very good game thus far I've seen in the Battle of Ontario. Last night, of course, the Leafs, on Tuesday night, you saw what happened when the Leafs were down. The Leafs were up 2-0. The Senators tied it up by Brady Tkachuk and Adam Gaudette. And Max Domi comes into the rescue and seals it in overtime. And tonight, the same thing happened again, where the Leafs were up a lead. The Sens come and tie the game up, and then the Leafs score again in overtime. And it feels pretty good. All right, let's get to the game, shall we? The first period was undisciplinary for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first period. Sure, it was tied at 0. I get it, but there's so many things that went wrong here. For instance, John Tavares gets called for a trip because Brady Tkachuk dived. And I'm like thinking, you gotta be kidding me. Brady Tkachuk dived like a fish out of the blue. Are you kidding me right now? He didn't even he tripped, but it's not and you call that a trip when he clearly dived. Really? Really? Okay, sure, you get a 4-on-4 before getting the 4-on-3. Where luckily the Leafs were able to kill off that penalty. Thank God. Okay, things were clicking well. Leafs get a power play. Brady Tkachuk goes to the penalty box. And I'm like, okay, maybe we have a shot in the power play. Maybe we do have some chances. Yeah, the thing is, though, Linus Ullmark, even though he's starting in net, he just stopped every shot from the Leafs on the power play. And then not long after, after the first period is over, Matthew Knies gets called for a cross check at the end of the first period. And oh my goodness, at the end of the first period, you can't take a penalty like that. Inexcusable. And now we have to go and kill a penalty we have to go on a 4-on-4 for this one in the second period. So again, not at 0. Okay, good stuff there. But not a penalty I want to take when Matthew Knies gets called for a cross check. I mean, god damn it. So you're going to call Matthew Knies on a cross check, but not on Thomas Chabot. That's a joke. And I'm feeling like I think the officials are trying to baby the Senators. Again, and don't tell me the Leafs were being pampered by the refs. Don't you tell me that. Because the Senators are just sneaky, and they're going to hit people, and they're going to dive like fishes and diving queens. And then William Nylander in the second period gets called for a trip when clearly Brady Tkachuk dived again. And of course, the Leafs go on a stupid 5-on-3 penalty kill, which I don't like. And the Leafs let in a softie by Claude Giroux, and it's 1-0 Ottawa Senators. And I'm like thinking, well, we're freaking back, aren't we? We're freaking cooked. So the Leafs need to respond back. And guess who did respond back? It was none other than, you guessed it, Matthew Knies. I think it was from Matthews, I believe. And the Leafs tied the game up at 1 by Matthew Knies from a bounce, I believe, from a pass, I believe. But we were able to get the 1 goal. All right, we're tied up at 1. We go into the third period, and 33 seconds into the third period, or 32 seconds, I believe, Austin Matthews scores, and the Leafs go up 2-1 to start the third period. Okay, pretty good stuff there. I love it. Can we keep the momentum going? Everything's going pretty well in the third period. Sure, we have some chances, but guess who scored? Yep, another captain, another dirty rat player. We were up 2-1, and then Brady Tkachuk ties the game up at 2. Why? Brady Tkachuk, out of all the players you can think of, is a freaking nuisance. Just because he may be a captain, but in my opinion, Brady Tkachuk is a crybaby. Out of all the players, he is a crybaby. He wants to hit players. He wants calls going his way, and this and that. He gets all the favorable calls. It clearly looks like the Senators are being babied and pampered by the refs, and clearly tonight was one of them. And then, of course, it gets even more insultive when every time when the Leafs when we go for face-off, the Senators fans say Leafs suck, when it clearly when in reality, in my opinion, the Leafs don't suck. Only the Senators suck because the Leafs rule and the Sens rule. Okay? And then, of course, we hear Senators fans saying, Matthews, Balding, are you kidding me? He scored the 2-1 lead. Are you dense, Senators fans? And then, of course, you're going to hear Matthews sucks, when clearly Matthews doesn't suck. Only Brady Tkachuk sucks. You saw when everybody at Scotiabank Arena in downtown Toronto say Brady sucks. You remember that? Remember, I was at the game for Game 1 on Sunday, on Easter Sunday. And now I hear Senators fans say Matthews sucks, and they're chanting Brady, Brady. Honestly speaking, Brady Tkachuk might be the Senators' favorite player, but to Leaf fans out there, we don't claim that. We don't believe that because Brady Tkachuk is the dirtiest player and the most spoiled player, the spoiled brat player in the entire league. Just like Matthew Tkachuk on the Florida Panthers were, note to self, FYI, the Panthers were up 2-0 on the Tampa Bay Lightning, which reeks. So now we go into overtime. Another overtime game. Here we go again. And of course, okay. We go to the face-off. Leafs win the face-off. And guess who scored? Simon Benoit. Simon Benoit scores the game-winning goal. And the Leafs win in Ottawa and says, good night, Ottawa. Hope you enjoy the sweep. We're up 3 and the Leafs take a 3-2 win. They win the game 3-2, and they win, and they're up 3-0 in the series. Good stuff. All right, good stuff there. What I didn't like, the penalties, man. You saw what happened. You saw Mitch Marner. He got tripped by a Senators player, and there was no penalty called on the Senators. I mean, are you kidding me? How do you not call a penalty on the Senators when Mitch Marner gets tripped, but then you go to Tim Stützle and Brady Tkachuk diving for calls, and the Leafs get penalized? What's that about? That's one thing I don't like. The thing I don't like is the team just dives for calls. When was the last time we had teams diving for calls and getting what they want? Is it just me then, or is it whatever? Oh, you go back to the Panthers series. You go back to 2023 when the Leafs and the Panthers were facing off in the second round, and the Leafs were getting absolutely screwed by the referees. And it sucked, and I don't like it. That's one thing I don't like. The other thing is, come on, stop taking too many stupid penalties. Again, I said it before, do not take stupid penalties. And you're giving the Senators the power plays. It's like you're just basically... Excuse me. You're basically just babying to the ref. You're just basically giving the refs attention. If I were you, okay, I'm just saying as an example. If I was a player on the NHL, I would get the call, but I would just keep my head down. If there's no penalties called, yeah, sure, I might scream, but I'm gonna have to scream in my head. I was like, no penalty, you kidding me? But not loudly. I wouldn't be screaming. I would just keep it to myself. I just keep my head down and just play. Keep my head up and keep playing. But the Senators fans think they have what it takes to call a penalty, and thinking that was a penalty, diving for trips. Like, that's a joke. But other than that, Stoli did a fantastic job. Yeah, he let in 2 stinkers in, 2 softies, even a Brady Tkachuk goal, which was considered an utter BS. But hey, at least the Leafs were still able to win the game, and Stoli, the goalie, was dialed in the Battle of Ontario in the 3rd game. Like, remember, this isn't about winning the battle. It's about winning the war, and we did just that. Up 3-0. Okay, been pretty confident about it, but again, Job's not done. Job ain't finished. We still got a long ways to go. We need one more to win the first round, so the Leafs can advance past the first round, so we can go into the second round to either face the Tampa Bay Lightning, which I dearly want, since the Leafs and Lightning, I want to see a matchup like that because it's the battle of blue and white. What do you expect? Either Tampa Bay or those Florida frauds, where I'm hoping to God that if the Leafs and the Panthers do face off in the second round, I'm hoping to God that if the Leafs beat the Florida Panthers, I don't care whether it's in 6 games or in 7 or in 5, which might be unlikely, the Keyshawn Panthers rivalry will be put to an end permanently. Because, oh my God, rivalry's still going on. God damn. I don't know what to say. Might as well just win Game 4 on Saturday, which is Saturday night. Got to get the win. And most importantly, let's sweep the Senators. I know they swept us in the regular season, so it's time to sweep. Time to give the Senators a taste of their own medicine. In sweeping, the Senators would be awesome. Probably what they get for literally doing some dumb stuff like this. I don't know. You do the math. Let's go, Leafs. Yeah!